lead in India Insight this week. It's now a familiar story which hits the headlines with amazing regularity. Labour troubles at Maruti's Manesar factory, the plant forced into a shutdown, the company forced to take off production losses. But what's the real story behind this recurring trouble? Is it about politicized unions? Is it about mismanagement of the company and its contract workforce? Or does it actually go much beyond that? Does it link into India's archaic labour laws? Ruchita Saxena digs deep.
Labour unrest showing its ugly face once again at the country's largest car maker Maruti Suzuki and its Manesar plant in Haryana, now infamous for labour unrest. What started out as a seemingly minor scuffle over a suspended technician took a political and ugly turn, claiming the life of an HR executive and burning down an office at the plant. Maruti is no stranger to labour trouble. This is now the fourth such incident at the plant in the last 1 year, pointing to a deeper issue that Maruti and labour unions have been unable to resolve peacefully. The issue is simply one of wages. At the Manesar plant, Maruti Suzuki has employed 3,000 permanent workers and 2,800 contract workers. For workers employed by Maruti, the minimum wage is 23,000 rupees a month, but for contract workers, it's much lower at about 9,500 rupees per month.
Most important reason behind all this is this deployment of a large number of workmen on jobs of perennial nature and paying them only 1/3 of what is being paid to the regular worker.
Contract workers have always resented this wage difference, and with the alleged support of political forces in the region, unions have been emboldened into disrupting operations time and time again. For instance, last October, when the plant remained shut for 14 days, at that time the Maruti management took the tough call of phasing out contract workers despite the higher cost by March 2013. And while the management says they are on track, trouble has struck once again before they could meet their objectives.
Would be drastically reduced.
At the moment, perhaps our long-term thinking is that we'll be more shifting towards our own manpower. And in that sense, perhaps there will be an effort required to recruit people.
But the story is not one-sided, and the blame does not lie entirely at the doorstep of labour unions. At the heart of the problem are outdated laws that allow for the exploitation of contract workers, not just by corporates, but also perhaps the government. Under current laws, each state is free to decide the minimum wage for contract labourers, and any kind of social security and benefits are left purely to the discretion of the corporates. According to lawyers, this often leads to unfair treatment of contract workers, making it imperative to modify our outdated labour laws. The outdated labour laws have drawn the government's attention, and there is some hope that things could change in favour of workers during the current 5-year plan. According to the Planning Commission's working group from 2012 to 17 5-year plan on labour laws, the Contract Labour Act 1970 needs to be amended to give contract employees same benefits and security of tenure as regular employee. Minimum Wages Act 1948 amendment can ensure a national minimum wage for all contract labourers in the country. And the Factories Act 1948 can be amended to provide better security for labourers working in hazardous environment.
As of today, some laws are to be definitely changed, and we have recommended in our this meetings, and it is now upon the Parliament to pass it in accordance with law what they feel best.
But in return, companies are demanding greater flexibility in hire and fire laws, without which it becomes difficult for companies to adjust operations and production to changing demand dynamics. Current law does not allow companies this freedom, and hence they resort to hiring contract workers who are easier to bring on and let go as required. The outdated labour laws have also had an impact on India's employment scenario, with the unorganized sector now representing 92% of Indian workers, suggesting that a lot of employment opportunities have gone into the unorganized sector.
That I think relates to that closure of factory. If some unit goes bad, or they can't run, they are in loss, then they have to seek permissions then retrenchment is there, but at the same time the labor interest has to be watched.
Until any significant changes in the law, the workers of Manesar plant, even those not involved in the violence, are terrified to go back to work, and so are the managers of Maruti Suzuki. All this while the company is losing 60 crore rupees a day. Its dealers are running out of Swift and Dzire cars to sell, and as the family of HR executive Avnish Kumar Dev mourns his death, this could be a cue for the government to fast-track amendments required in labour laws long ignored in India. Ruchita Saxena, NDTV Profit.
India's #1 news app just got even better. Download NDTV's new app. Fully optimized for retina display. Full screen view. Faster response time. And Sudoku. NDTV's new iPad app. Download now.